tonight on Elon Local News.
We continue to follow the protests in Charlotte and Elon's reactions 6 days later.
A bus bringing together Alamance County. Our reporter went along for the ride.
And a colonial tradition still being practiced today. We spoke to one family bringing history to life.
All that and more.
Live for the first time, Elon Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening, I'm Periclean Scholars.
And I'm Jackie Pascal. We begin tonight with continuing coverage of the protests in Charlotte. The Council of Civic Engagement is hosting a panel right now in the McBride gathering space called Columbus, Tulsa, Charlotte, What's Next? The panel will be a conversation examining the Charlotte protests from an academic perspective, with professors from different majors as panelists. Our Kaylee Tracy is there and will be joining us later in the broadcast.
It's been 6 days since Charlotte police fatally shot Keith Lamont Scott. Protests continue last night through, and they were mostly peaceful. 11 people were arrested. Our senior reporters were in Charlotte on the second night of protests when violence escalated in the area. Earlier today, Charlotte Mayor Jennifer Roberts released a statement ending the citywide midnight curfew. The curfew has been in effect since Thursday.
On Friday, more than 300 students, faculty, and community members participated in a silent march across campus in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Members of the Black Student Union organized the march. It was publicized through social media and an email from President Leo Lambert. Our reporters were there. Here were some of the sights and sounds from the event.
Blackness inherently demands feeling so many complex emotions all at once, especially in times of racial injustice.
I am sad, I am frustrated, I am angry, and I am discouraged.
Our silence was loud and our black was solid. And we just asked
reopened today after being closed for a week due to maintenance issues. According to Elon Dining marketing manager Heather Krieger, a water line burst last Monday. Varsity will operate on normal business hours from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. starting today.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton will be facing off tonight in the first presidential debate. The debate, which will take place at Hofstra University in New York, is expected to draw nearly 100 million viewers. Elon will be hosting a watch party on the first floor of Mosley beginning at 9 p.m. Along with the viewing, there will be an ice cream bar, presidential debate-themed bingo, and prizes. And after the debate, Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton is scheduled to come to Raleigh tomorrow at 1 p.m. According to her website, Clinton will outline her economic plan and discuss her vision for a stronger America that she says will put families first.
And Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump is scheduled to campaign in Florida tomorrow. From there, he will campaign in Wisconsin Wednesday. And his running mate Mike Pence will travel to Wisconsin, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. And you can tune in to ENN Live on November 8th for all your election coverage.
We'll be live at 8 p.m. on Channel 5 and online.
And we'll have reporters live following national and state races.
Former Washington Post reporter Bob Woodward will be at Elon this Thursday as a part of fall convocation. Woodward, along with Carl Bernstein, is best known for breaking the news of the 1972 Watergate scandal that led to President Richard Nixon's resignation. Our Hannah Silvers took to the sidewalks of campus to find out what Elon students know about the two-time Pulitzer Prize winner and best-selling author.
I do not.
No. I do not, but I was planning on going anyways.
Loosely.
What do you know about him?
That he's coming to Elon and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, still have no idea. Oh, is he a journalist? Yes. Yeah. Okay, I learned about this in comm.
Not much, just like the whole water or something gate thing, yeah.
Oh, okay, Watergate. All right, yeah.
Oh, do they have something to do with Watergate?
Okay, so is he the Watergate guy? Yeah, I remember a little bit learning about him.
Oh, I know about the Watergate scandal. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh my God. I should know that. Yep.
So he's speaking here. Wow.
Next Thursday.
We should probably see that.
Yeah, we should probably go to that.
And if you'd like to see Bob Woodward speak on Thursday, anyone with a Phoenix card can pick up tickets at the box office in the Center for the Arts. Convocation begins at 3:30 p.m. on Thursday in Alumni Gym.
And if you want to learn more about Bob Woodward before he speaks on Thursday, there'll be a screening of All the President's Men tomorrow night at 6:30 in Oaks 212. The film is based on the nonfiction book Woodward and fellow journalist Carl Bernstein wrote in 1974 about President Richard Nixon and the Watergate scandal. Before the movie, journalism professors Glenn Scott and Michael Scooby will answer questions on a panel.
A new transit system making the lives of Alamance County residents easier.
I'm Courtney Campbell, and I'll have your Phoenix 5-day forecast after the break.
A presidential debate watch party and a community dinner are just some of the events planned for Lead Strong Week, hosted by the Center for Leadership and supported by Elon Votes and the Elon Political Engagement Work Group. This year's theme is a celebration of civic engagement on Elon's campus. The week of events kicks off tonight at 9 p.m. with the presidential debate watch party.
And Tuesday is the community dinner at Green World at 6 p.m. And on Wednesday, there's a meet and greet for civic engagement at Elon in the Mosley Student Center from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Then on Thursday after convocation, there'll be a coffee clutch in Corey 140 where students can gather to discuss the themes of the speech. Free coffee and cookies will be provided. And finally on Friday, there'll be social media spotlights.
Our Kaylee Tracy was at the panel in McBride Gathering Space about the effects the Charlotte protests and other national events have here on campus. Kaylee's here now to tell us about the event. Thanks for joining us, Kaylee.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get right into it. Tell us what was happening about tonight's event.
Sure. So at the panel that I just left, as you mentioned, there were panelists ranging from alumni to faculty and staff and students gathered in the McBride Gathering Space to listen and help figure out what do we do from here. Yes, we had the march on Friday in memory of Keith Lamont Scott, but what are steps that we do from here to combat racism in our country and on campus?
And so if we couldn't be at the panel, which we couldn't have, what would be like one takeaway that you got out of it just in the short time you were there?
Well, like we mentioned earlier, there were panelists and people from all different parts of campus. So the biggest thing everyone reiterated was that we all need to work together no matter what our race, what our gender, anything major, we all need to work together to combat this.
And so you've been covering this story from the beginning. You were at the Charlotte protests last week, and you were also at the march on Friday, the Black Student Union March. Can you tell us about that? What was it like?
Sure. Well, being down in Charlotte on Wednesday was definitely life-changing. I've never experienced anything like that. We went to a park down there, Marshall Park, and they had, originally it started off as very peaceful protests, lighting candles, music. There were a lot of signs and marching through the streets. As the night went on, it did get more violent. We luckily were not down there when shots were fired and when it did get more violent, but as you all heard and saw, there was unfortunately another fatality. And then the march on Friday, very peaceful. The whole community joined together. It was amazing to see, and I've heard from numerous people that it was amazing to see people just keep flooding out of Mosley. Flooding, all these people all across campus in a silent march, and it was just awesome to see how the campus came together for this.
Wow, that must have been incredible. Well, thank you so much, Kaylee, for joining us. We appreciate it. If you want to check out more, there's always more information here on our website about tonight's panel and our continuing coverage of the Charlotte protests. And from McBride to right here in the School of Communications, there's a new major, a comm major, gaining popularity. Alex Safori looked into the media analytics major.
The major's popularity has grown extensively. 5 media analytics majors graduated in the spring, and now there are 57.
I was thinking maybe journalism, but I just like that there's like numbers involved and there's like kind of a concreteness to it.
But for Pershaw, it's more than just numbers.
So it's basically like the internet has so much data that you can get that you can really like make predictions from numbers and using the help of the internet, kind of figuring out social trends.
He He says studying this type of data makes the major interesting.
I felt like it seemed like the most concrete of the communications things.
Alex Ofori, Elon Local News.
It was such a beautiful day Saturday, sunny skies, it was so hot out, then it all changed Sunday, the temperatures dropped.
Yeah, Sunday, and then we dropped into this fall-like day today. Courtney Campbell is here with us in the studio. She's going to tell us more. What can we expect for the rest of the week?
Thanks, guys. So we do have some thunderstorms in the forecast for this week. But right now it's hot and humid, and it's supposed to storm throughout the night with temperatures in the 60s. Tomorrow temperatures are getting more like fall with a high of 79 and a low of 58. You should expect thunderstorms tomorrow morning with cloudy skies later in the day, so grab your umbrellas. Rain will continue on Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the 70s and lows in the 50s. Friday seems to be the nicest day, and you should expect some sun among showers with a high of 74 and a low of 54. So it's definitely starting to feel more like fall. I just hope it stays in these nice cool temperatures before sweater weather. That's all I've got for weather today. I'm Courtney Campbell. Back to you, Perry.
Thanks, Courtney. Well, we're used to seeing the bio bus around town, but there's another bus system traveling through Burlington. Our Paige Peroso talked to local Burlington residents and found out how the new bus system is affecting their commutes.
Some local residents get to work via car or even bikes, but others in the Burlington area don't have those options.
I guess how we'll walk.
The Link Transit system, which opened this summer, connects different hubs in Burlington together for the first time using public transportation.
I use it because I need the transportation to get where I need to go, like finding jobs and going shopping.
They also use Link for school, errands, and interviews.
Now we're about to go help her put in this application for KFC. I had to go see about an apartment.
Before the Link system, people had to rely on a friend or even walk, which made some people unable to go to work.
It's much better than having to walk an hour 30, maybe 2 hours, from here to there just to get, to your destination.
There are still some issues, specifically with the bus schedule.
It should be expanded at least to the Mebane area because there is a lot of unemployment around here, and a lot of that could be solved if the transit went to Mebane.
I think they should be on the weekends so people can get to work and back.
Burlington Transportation Manager Mike Nunn was unavailable for an interview, but did write in an email that the expansion of the Link bus system will depend on consistent ridership over time and the available budget approved by City Council. Paige Peroso, Elon Local News.
The Link Transit system runs Monday through Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and costs 50 cents for students to use.
A 3-year project coming to completion, how one group on campus plans to make an international difference.
And we have plenty of ways to cheer on the Phoenix this week after a historic football win.
The class of 2017 Periclean Scholars is competing for a $10,000 grant. Jamie Snover looks into how they plan to use it, how to use this money to make a global impact.
Namibia is a country in Southwest Africa. It doesn't mean much to the average Elon student, but to the class of 2017 Periclean Scholars, it's been their focus for 3 years.
It's kind of a country that we've grown to identify with and learn a lot about and care a lot about.
In January, the group of scholars will travel together to the country to host a conference. Not only will they work in Namibia, but they're also creating a documentary.
It's a lot of personal narratives and really amazing footage of what the country is like and sort of, the issues that they're facing, but also the triumphs of the Namibian people.
The conference and documentary come with a big price tag. They applied for a $10,000 grant sponsored by Kind Causes to help with funding. Whichever cause has the most votes wins the grant.
It can make a really big difference on the food insecurity problems that a lot of the towns and cities in Namibia are facing right now.
Senior scholar Kendra Sternick says all the work has been worth it.
It's really great that we've been able to establish relationships with these people and not just feel like we're going in and leaving.
And in January, the scholars are hoping to see their hard work pay off.
It's not easy to make change, and that there's a lot of ups and downs, but at the end, and we're not at the end yet, but I think it's going to be worth it.
Jamie Snover, Elon Local News.
Voting for the $10,000 grant ends on Thursday. To vote, go to Periclean Scholars 2017.weebly.com.
Now for some exciting news and one of the biggest upsets in program history. The Elon University football team defeated William & Mary 27-10 Saturday night. The William & Mary tribe was ranked 8th in the national polls. The Phoenix jumped out to a 17-0 lead early in the game thanks to great field position as all 3 scoring drives started in William & Mary's territory. The tribe responded with a field goal and a touchdown to make it a 1-score game, and then Elon responded with two long scoring drives, pushing the lead back up to its final margin of 17.
And it's just the second victory over a top 10 opponent in Elon's Division I era, with the other one coming in 2007. It's also the highest ranked opponent Elon has defeated when unranked. Elon is now 2-2 for the season and 1-0 in the Colonial Athletic Association. The Phoenix hosts 19th ranked Villanova Saturday with kickoff at 3:30 p.m.
And this week, the soccer teams will play under the lights. The men's soccer team plays UNC Wilmington Wednesday night at 7 p.m. and the women's soccer team hosts South Carolina State Thursday at 7 p.m. Both teams are away over the weekend, with men's soccer traveling to High Point Saturday night and women's soccer team heading up to Williamsburg to face William & Mary Sunday afternoon.
The Elon volleyball team won its first CAA match yesterday, sweeping William & Mary 3-0. The Phoenix travels to Delaware and Towson next weekend. And finally, the cross-country teams head to Louisville for the Greater Louisville Classic on Saturday, and the women's tennis team will head down the road to Winston-Salem to play in the Wake Forest Invitational next weekend.
We talked to a family who is bringing colonial traditions back to 2016.
The Alamance Battleground held their Drink Like a Colonial event on Saturday, and I was there to find the story behind the cider. Apple pies, apple and cabbage slaw, and fresh-pressed apple cider. The tasty samples brought many to the Alamance Battleground, but the sweetest treat was the family that made it all happen.
The children were just really interested in all things American history. They even created a little colony out in our woods at home they called it Liberty Land.
With the kids' ages ranging from 3 to 12, the Pace family turned their love of history into a family tradition.
The family that used to volunteer for many years had just told her they couldn't do it anymore, and they were hoping to have another family they could grow up through the years.
The Pace family started volunteering at the historic site a year and a half ago. The oldest Pace child, at just 12 years old, handles the antique cider press.
I was helping the lady who usually does it demonstrate, helping her with the grinding and stuff. I mainly just learned all of this through listening to her. She at least repeated it 50 times. And then the 5 more days for Colonial Living Week, I did it by myself.
Leonard takes his demonstrations seriously and says his favorite part is the people.
I usually want them to get a hands-on demonstration and come over and grind the apples and drink the juice and throw the apples in.
Just like old times, the various jobs are all done by the family.
When families come out here on a day like this, they can see a family represented as close to what it used to be. We work together to do what needs to be done, and that's what they did in colonial times.
For the Pace family, living in the past isn't such a bad thing. You can see the Pace family at Alamance Battleground's next big event, Colonial Living Week. For those dates and more information, go to our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
And I will definitely check that out because from the look of just that was cool looking.
It was so fun, and I got to meet some of the coolest people, and they gave me delicious food. I got to try mini apple pies, and they made them just like they used to before. Dehydrated apples, rehydrated. It was delicious.
So we're just getting low caliber apple pies. We've been missing out this whole time.
You've been missing out, yeah.
Well, Moving on, and before we go, today is National Pancake Day. Our ELN morning anchor, Paul LeBlanc, is not the best cook on our staff, but he did it all for the redemption. You can take a look.
We can, so let's get to work. We can, so let's get to work.
And if you didn't get to make any pancakes this morning, tomorrow is National Chocolate Milk Day. So be sure to make a glass before you head to class. You can watch Paul and the rest of our morning show team on Thursdays at 9:50 a.m.
Yeah, no, that was a very interesting time with Paul. I'm very happy he got to do some redemption because last year, a little bit of a struggle on the morning show. We know him as our college cooking pro. The full package is online, so you can see his struggle. But he definitely redeemed himself this year with his National Pancake Day treat.
He's a great reporter, so we kept him on.
Yeah, and the chocolate milk day that's coming up tomorrow.
Oh
I'm
my
definitely
gosh.
going to be doing that. I love chocolate milk. Only the fresh kind though, not the pre-made stuff.
No. You have to like mix in the powder. You can't be pouring in the syrup.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta get the balance of it. But I'm definitely gonna be participating in that tomorrow. I'm very excited for that. Maybe add some cookies in there, something like that. You can always look out for the rest of our content this week, not for pancakes or chocolate milk, but other news, all the news you need to know.
It's good.
We have our online exclusive tomorrow, Tuesday at 4 p.m., and we also have the pendulum coming out on Wednesday morning.
And Thursday morning, of course, we have ELN Morning. So for all the news you need to know when we're off the air, and you can check out our website at elonnewsnetwork.com.
You can also like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, all of our social media, Instagram, Snapchat. It's all at Elon News Network.
From all of us here at ELN, have a great night.